Donald Trump Jr., who was in court again this morning. There he is. You hear the protesters chanting, crime family, and that is basically what these people are, a crime family, a very dumb crime family, the Gambozos, if you will, and...
Reimagine for a moment that the downfall of a political titan didn't begin with scandal, but with a catchphrase. What if Trump's empire was turned into a national circus, not by a courtroom revelation, but by one lie, one late-night jab, and one viral remix? It all started with Trump Jr.'s pitiful courtroom defense, and it peaked when the entire internet rechristened Donald Trump as Taco Man. But the twist no one expected. The Trump White House actually tried to shut the joke down by calling Disney. This wasn't just late-night roasting, this was legacy demolition. And the final blow, so personal and so enduring, it left Donald Trump absolutely speechless.
Not supposed to rely on a big five accounting firm, like one of the biggest accounting firms in the world. I can pay them millions of dollars. I rely on them to do accounting, but I'm supposed to know more than them. By this logic, insurance companies are going to start suing patients for listening to their doctors. Right? You understand? Like, am I supposed to know more? Oh, Don Jr. doesn't know anything about it. I'm not an accountant. I'm a business guy.
I'm a business guy who had his elbows soldered together, and now I move my arms like a Muppet all the time.
When Trump Jr. tried to excuse bogus valuations by saying he was trusting the experts, Jimmy Kimmel didn't just crack a joke, he pulled the pin on a grenade. Kimmel flipped the logic on its head, scoffing, so if something goes wrong, should people sue their doctors too? The crowd roared. Trump's defense collapsed into pure parody. Then came the bomb. Kimmel dropped a remixed version of Macho Man by the Village People, but this time, it was Taco Man. The result, a full-on political meltdown dressed up in disco beats. It wasn't just funny, it was weaponized satire. The audience lost it, but Trump didn't, and that made the burn even deeper. Taco Man exploded online. Within hours, it had choreography, memes, reaction videos, the works. This wasn't just a joke, it was a cultural reset. And Trump's public unraveling had officially begun.
Don Jr., he's so embarrassing. He's on the stand, he's testifying in this $250 million fraud trial, and he has to compliment. He said his father is an artist with real estate. Yeah, he's an artist. He's Vincent Van Gogh to jail with real estate. He also boasted that his dad is the father of hotel gyms. He said, maybe someone put a gym in a building somewhere, but no one did it at the scale of my father. He's saying that his father, the father of the hotel gym, is a guy who's never stepped inside one, okay? The amount of ass-kissing in this trial is insane. DJ TJ, of course, denies any and all wrongdoing and is instead going with the "our accountants did it" defense.
It wasn't the courtroom that brought Trump's empire crashing down. It was TikTok. The Taco Man remix evolved into a full-blown meme machine, including a rooster in a MAGA hat generated by AI. The meme became a movement. And it wasn't just critics and trolls anymore. Even Wall Street insiders started whispering a term that added fuel to the fire. Trump always chickens out. Then came the flashpoint. At a press conference, a bold reporter asked Trump about his new Taco Man nickname. Instead of brushing it off, he snapped, calling it a snide question. That single outburst from a man obsessed with his image became his public death sentence. It was clipped, looped, and memed into internet eternity. He wanted silence. Instead, he got a nation laughing and a disco anthem playing in the background. So, how's that going for him?
They've been asking the kids, and tell me how they fit into all of this.
They don't fit into all of this. What have they been asking the kids? It's very simple. They'll ask the kids, did you give a value to somebody? Did you do something? And everybody said resoundingly no. And these kids did nothing wrong. They should not be in this case. Ivanka's already out of the case. The boys should not be in the case.
That's right. They're just boys. They're kids. Eric has a book report due this weekend. They're both still wearing pull-ups. They're on trial? I mean, come on. Don and Don Jr. had some father and son event this weekend. They went to the UFC fight at Madison Square Garden. There they are. Trump's being cheered on. With he's got Dana White there. He's got Tucker Carlson in the back. He's got Kid Rock in tow. And, of course, oh, yeah, there we go, a little fist bump. Don Jr. was thrilled to be a part of the group. He posted this picture of him and Tuck cackling in their blue checker print shirts. A couple of banana Republicans right there.
And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, age showed no mercy. Within 24 hours, Donald Trump's image had been completely rebranded by AI.
Mike Lindell, no doubt, but even busier for our embattled former president, who I guess in an attempt to mend the wall between himself and the Latino community, sat down on his balls for an interview with Univision, where he was taken to task on a number of subjects by one of the toughest journalists in any language. You see where this is going? Oh, let's find out.
Buenas noches, and welcome to the Univision interview of Donald Trump. Mr. Trump, first question. Stormy Daniels say you have a chalupa that is very small. ¿Es verdad?
I do.
Me too. It's okay. Okay, next question. What would happen if you stopped eating at McDonald's?
They would be out of business. They'd be out.
Because you eat so much.
I do.
Me too. What about Melania? How would you describe your marriage?
It's a hoax.
Yeah, that seems right. I have to say, you look very orange today, sir. Some people say you look like an Oompa Loompa. What do you think of the Oompa Loompas?
They're energetic people. They have more energy. They're very smart. They're incredible people. They're passionate people. You know, it's always tough to generalize about people, but you can. You know, some people would say, oh, that's not good. It's not politically correct.
You're probably right. It is time to stop being so PC about Oompa Loompas. Great point, sir. Oh, I have another question for you. Can you tell me who's this?
That's Silence of the Lamb. That's Hannibal Lecter.
Do you know him?
He's a friend of mine. He's a tremendous man. He's been very loyal to me. I've been very loyal to him.
Next question. Who are these guys?
These are people that are very, very disturbed, very, very mentally ill.
Yes, they seem very bad and very ugly too. Anyway, thank you for inviting me to your very weird house. Before I go, I have a surprise. It is my honor to announce you have been named Mexico's 2023 Pendejo of the Year. You look great, sir. Like a real pendejo.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. That was my exclusivo interview with El Pendejo número uno, Donald Trump. Back to you in the studio, Tony.
Very work, Guillermo.
Complete chicken armor, lettuce wraps, and deep, phony voiceovers painting him as the tyrant of the fast food industry. Taco Man wasn't just a meme anymore. It had mutated into a revolution. And while Trump was busy doom-scrolling angry tweets, the real gut punch came not from a late-night monologue, but from a Rolling Stone expose. The report confirmed that Trump's White House made not one, but 2 phone calls to Disney, demanding that they shut down Jimmy Kimmel. Yes, really? The sitting president of the United States, a man with access to nuclear codes, decided to call Mickey Mouse because of a joke. He reportedly told staff, I am targeted by bullies. You can't make this stuff up. And yet, Jimmy didn't flinch. In fact, he doubled down, and his timing, absolutely brutal. Right when Trump thought he could kill the joke killed. His image
And pathetic as a guy like that. The Tonight Show, which is dying. They're all dying. Where's Johnny Carson? Bring back Johnny. It made you appreciate, right, Uncle Sam? It made you appreciate the greatness of Johnny Carson. I go on a show, and he goes, is that your real hair? I said, yeah. He said, do you mind if I mess it up? So he grabs it, and he starts really going crazy, right? And everybody laughed, and it was a big thing, and it was a big hit. It was all over the place, and he got great ratings and all. And 6 months later, he went out because he was under pressure to apologize because he humanized Donald Trump. Do you remember? And he stood up and he said, I'd like to apologize. 6 months ago, or whatever it was, I messed up Donald Trump's hair, and it humanized him, and he became president. And I would like to apologize. How weak and pathetic is a guy like that? And his show died, but the other 2 shows had died.
Saying that Jimmy Kimmel survived Trump's tantrum is an understatement. He made it the lead story. He even joked, President Karen wants to speak to my manager. And America howled with laughter. The man who once weaponized the Department of Justice was now whining to Disney. Sounding like a Yelp reviewer with a presidential seal. But beneath the punchlines came a serious warning. If a man with that much unchecked power is this enraged over late-night humor, what else might trigger him? A foreign leader, a Supreme Court decision, a failed negotiation over nuclear diplomacy. The scary part isn't the joke. It's the overreaction. And Trump's meltdown was just getting started. What a week. Panicked display. The punchline had become prophecy, and the roast had become a record.
Trump flew to Rome to pay his respects and also to see if he could get a deal on the Pope Mobile to drive around his golf course. For whatever reason, even though the Vatican dress code specifically recommended a dark suit for the service, Trump showed up in his bluest blue suit, something from the Cedric the Entertainer funeral collection. You know, Fox News, you may remember, had a collective aneurysm when President Obama wore a tan suit to a press briefing. Man, oh man, if Obama wore in a blue suit to the Pope's funeral, Sean Hannity's head would explode inside Trump's ass. The fact that he was the only person not wearing a dark suit did not go unnoticed. So the White House press secretary pushed back. She said the president looked great and presidential alongside our stunning first lady, who was, as usual, dressed perfectly for the occasion. And she's right about Melania. I don't know about stunning, but she definitely looks stunned. Show them together, because this is the happiest I've ever seen these two together. It was like they're on their second honeymoon or something.
At the same time, Jimmy's jokes were gutting MAGA morale. Trump's rage over Taco Man began bleeding into national policy. While he stewed about remixes and memes, the Supreme Court reignited a firestorm across the country. Conservative justices raised questions about the constitutionality of the AR-15 ban, essentially inviting a new wave of gun chaos into the American bloodstream. But Trump, he stayed fixated on a late-night spat. Real-world rulings were endangering lives. And the former commander-in-chief was stuck posting about being bullied, shouting into a digital void. Justice Thomas warned against waiting too long to legalize the nation's most beloved assault weapon. And in the same hour, Trump was still whining about being mocked by puppets. Now stop and really think about that. A former president, once trusted with the nuclear codes, is now being emotionally shattered by parody songs and TikTok memes. And the real fear, if a nickname like Taco Man can send him spiraling, what happens when a foreign leader challenges him? We already know the answer, and it's not comedy.